Fellows, welcome back to the More Than Average Men podcast. I am your host, Michael Benton, and you are watching or listening to episode 18. All right, man. Welcome back to another episode, man. I'm excited. It's definitely been a minute since I posted my last episode. I believe was sometime in the second week of January. And listen, I got a whole episode that I can do in regards to just kind of what's been going on in my mindset and kind of where I've been in my absence. And so I definitely will shoot you guys that episode here soon. But I wanted to really focus on this particular episode, which is all about controlling versus allowing. And we'll stick with that, but I'll definitely share with you kind of again where I've been and why there has been a lack of consistency when it comes to putting out the podcast. So we'll get to that later on. But I want to start off by sharing this with you, right? So everything that I relay to you guys is from my perspective, right? And so there is no absolute, right? I don't take one side on anything, right? So I don't mean what I mean by that is, this is not the right way. This is not the wrong way, right? That is subjective to the listeners, to you. And so that's for you guys to make up your own mind. So what I'm regurgitating to you and what I'm saying to you and it's in teaching you is based on my perspective, based on my mindset, the way I think. And then also too, just obviously examples and scenarios that I've seen with working with others or just having conversations with other people that are like-minded or farther beyond than where I am in business and as far as their teachings and things of that nature, right? So again, everything that I say, take it with a grain of salt, do your own research, make up your own mind. But I want to make that very clear that, in things that I say, there is no absolute for the most part, right? I'm very like, here's some pros, here's some cons. Okay, now let's figure out, does that make sense for me in this particular scenario? So I wanted to clear that up and put that out there. Now, I want to start off by reading you my journal entry. So this is a journal entry that I wrote on March 9th, 2024, and I'm going to read it verbatim. And this kind of inspired the idea to do this particular episode, this particular topic of controlling versus allowing. So I'm gonna read that for you right now. So I said, I find myself curious to know where my life is headed, or more so, what will become of my life in, say, 5, 10 years, etc. That statement sounds like I have no idea what I'm doing or going or where I'm going. It's like I'm just reacting to what's happening around me. I'm trying to find that middle ground between wanting to control the outcome and trusting in something beyond myself that I will get what I want or that I'll live the life that I want. I then go on to say, do you feel like you're controlling the things that are happening for you? ? And my answer was, I feel like I'm listening and paying attention to the signs and what feels right, and I'm taking action, and those actions are creating outcomes that seem to favor me. Okay. And I'll give you guys some more. I'll break that down here in just a little bit, but I want to start off by giving you guys somewhat of an analogy, right? More like a visual description of what I mean as I wrote that, because it might help you guys understand where I'm going with this. So here's the example that I wrote down, right? If you take two magnets, right, and when you start bringing those two magnets together, right, at a certain distance, you start to feel a pull, right? At a certain distance, you start to feel like that those two magnets are attracting, right? It kind of gets a little more heavier, right? And for me, this pull is what life feels like for me right now, right? I'm in this zone right now. I'm in this space right now where I feel like I'm, again, an analogy, right? A magnet, and I'm at that distance where it's like, ooh, like it's wanting to come together, but it's not fully together, right? It's not fully flush with one another. And then I go on to say also too, my mind, however, thinks that I should be controlling the force of that pull with, i.e., goals and steps, so that my actions create the two magnets to come together. So hopefully you guys are following me thus far, but so right now, I'll reiterate this. Right now in my life at this point, I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel like I'm on the right trajectory. I may not be doing all the things, but I'm doing something, right? I'm doing something that is creating this magnetic pull to where it's starting to get heavy, right? It's starting to be some type of attraction. The attraction could be the life that I want. It could be a certain thing that I want. A car or a house or money or whatever. It could be anything, right? It could be a number of those. But I've always had this thing in my mind where it's like, and I don't know if this is because of my personality. I'm a Leo, and right, and so very strong-minded and very independent. I wouldn't necessarily. I'm goal-driven, but I don't necessarily like follow my goals, right? Like I have an idea of something that I want and I just start taking action, but it's not systematic, right? I don't write it down and say, okay, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. I just kind of know the steps and I just do them, right? But there's this part of my mind where it's like, okay, you should be doing more. You should be creating goals. You should be creating the actual steps. You should be following those. You should be systematic in your approach to getting whatever it is that you say that you want or becoming whatever it is that you say that you want. And so my mind has been battling the two, whether I should be trying to control the outcome, trying to create an expectation of what it is that whatever it is I want versus allowing it to just happen. And I know this might be a little confusing for some. So bear with me, and I'll try to do my best to explain it from my perspective, and hopefully it comes together for you. But some might say, I think of like a Grant Cardone, right? Someone with a very, very prolific businessman. To one's eye, right? Super smart. They're probably wealthy, right? I don't know that for sure, but it's just the perception is that he's very wealthy, right? And so he's someone that is like, if you listen to any of his talks, right, he's like a go-getter. He's like, this is what I want. Boom, boom, boom. We go. Here's the steps. We just go get it, right? That, in my mind, would be an example of someone that's, I'm not saying he's controlling, but I'm saying how he goes about things. He's controlling his outcome. He's controlling what it is that he wants versus allowing. So when people think of allowing, people think of like spirituality and manifesting, things of that nature. And I will say that I'm a big spiritual person, right? I practice spirituality, and so for me, I'm finding not necessarily an even balance, but there's a balance between controlling what I can controlling and also allowing things to come as they will. And that could be confusing for some because it's like, well, what are you doing? Are you just like, hey, I want a mansion, and then you just hope and pray that you get a mansion? No, it's not like that. For me, it's like, let's just use that example, right? Oh, you want a mansion. Okay. So it's like, on the one side, what am I doing to get that mansion? I'm probably trying to find a higher paying job. I'm probably trying to make more money. I'm probably researching where I want that mansion to be, right? Or where, I don't know, where that mansion could be or wherever I want to live, right? I'm researching best ways to get a mansion and the taxes. I'm doing all this research, right? I'm trying to figure out the path to get to the mansion. That's the controlling part. That's the part that I can control, right? So trying to get a better job, trying to get a higher paying, make more money, things that put myself in a position to where I'm able to do that. But I'm also allowing a higher power than myself to help me get there. And that looks like not being set on an expectation, so like, if I don't hit that mark, if I don't get that mansion, if I don't get that job, if these things that I put down and list out don't happen the way that I want them to happen, I'm not distraught. I'm not tied to that outcome. So if it doesn't happen, I'm not down on myself, right? I kind of remove myself from that. Now that doesn't mean that I'm any less goal oriented or any less responsible or diligent about getting what it is that I want, right? I'm still a go-getter, you know what I mean? For me anyway, I kind of been doing it in a different way versus the controlling way. And so I really hope that that makes sense. I'm not sure if any of you guys can relate to kind of what it is that I'm saying, but you know, for me, I think that I've had a lot of success where, especially lately, I would say in the beginning of this year, and current, where it's like, yeah, here's what I want to have. Here's what I want to do, right? Here's what I want to achieve. Um, I'm still taking action. I'm still going to take action. I'm a firm believer. Like um, I believe in manifesting, but also manifesting. I also believe that manifesting, it takes action. You can't just literally like sit there and put that out into the universe, and then hopefully the universe just gives you what you want. Like I believe you have to do a combination, right? You have to put the effort out there, to put the thought out there. Trust that you're being guided and being helped to achieve that thing, to get that thing, but you also got to take action to move the needle, right? It's like you guys got to work together. And so that's what's been happening for me is I've just been working together at setting an intention of what it is I want, or setting out to do something or achieve something, and then also asking the universe for guidance and support. And those two are really, that's the start of the magnetic pull for me anyway. And so, yeah, I just think that it's been very interesting these last couple of months, man. I'm not going to get too far deep into it, but I had a full-time job up until probably the second or third week of January, and then I lost my job, and so I haven't been working since, and still looking for a job or things of that nature. But it's funny, man. It's like, here's why this topic is so important to me, and why it hits home for me anyways, because in the last, I would say from January 27th, I think is when I got let go, somewhere around there, January 27th until now, I haven't tried to control the narrative. I haven't tried to get back into being comfortable. I've been uncomfortable since my layoff. Uncomfortable in the sense that there is no security, right? There is no comfort. There is no, I don't know what is going to happen, what's going to transpire. Meaning, I don't know if I'm going to get another job. I don't know when my money's, well, I know when my money's going to run out, but it's not that certainty, right? Where I can wake up every day and be like, oh, okay, I got a job. I'm going to work from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever it is, and money's going to come in every Friday. Like, I know that's going to happen. That's been uncertain for me. And so for me, I've always been in a mindset of comfort for as long as I can remember, right? I've always been comfortable. And this is a part of the stage for me in my life where I need to get uncomfortable. I'm now being pushed. I truly believe that layoff was, I guess you want to say, a godsend or a message from the universe is saying, listen, you've been comfortable for so long, and you have the ability to do so much more, but you're scared to step outside that doorway. Well, I'm going to push you outside that doorway because you're not going to do it. So I'll do it for you. And so now it's been like, oh crap, like, damn, am I going to be able to make my mortgage next month or whatever? And a good thing I had savings, in our emergency fund set up. But what I was getting to was that I haven't tried to control the narrative. Like, if I've been applying for jobs, right? Every day, every week, right? I've been applying for jobs. But if no job comes up, I'm okay with that. And here's why. There have been multiple opportunities that have come up for me that I had no idea was even a part of the equation, right? So I coach my son's basketball team, and it's fifth graders. And through coaching just one season, I just coached them once. We just finished up our season, just coached them one season. I've been asked to privately train 3 kids. Okay. I've been asked to join a club basketball league and help them coach and bring on a team in the club basketball league, right? We don't do club, we do rec for right now. Things have been happening. Opportunities have been creating themselves because let me tell you this. There's a mantra that I repeat every morning, and anytime that I feel uncomfortable, or that I feel fear or uncertainty or doubt creep up in my mind. And here's what I say every time. I say, I surrender my fear and expectations and trust in the guidance of the universe. I surrender my fear and my expectations, and I trust in the guidance of the universe. I say that every time that I feel overwhelmed or in fear or doubt. And subsides all of those feelings for me, right? And so I just keep moving. I just keep going on my day. I keep applying for jobs. I keep looking for opportunities. I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I'm seeing where opportunities are popping up. And because I'm not trying to, for me, because I'm not trying to control the narrative, and I'm just allowing, right? And I'm in a space where I'm still taking action to get to where I want to get to, but I'm not, there's no expectation that I have to get a job, because honestly, I don't want to work for anyone else, right? And so because that expectation is not there, I'm not putting that expectation on myself or the universe to relay that to me. These opportunities are coming up. So the basketball thing, right? Privately coaching. So I'm making money that way, right? I have my life and health license. And so a buddy of mine owns a property and casualty insurance company. He's like, hey man, you should come on with me and you can sell life insurance to my clients. Boom. Right. And so I've been doing that, made, 5 or 6 sales. And it's like, wow, and I'm doing it from my home. You know what I mean? So that's working. Right. And then, some other things happened last week where it's just like, there's some opportunities for me to do some marketing for some people. And it's just like, where's all this coming from? And so again, some of you guys are skeptic, and that's totally fine. I'm just relaying what's been transpired for me, what's been working for me. And so I think the biggest message that I want to relate to you guys before I get out of here is that, I think it's important for you guys to understand where you guys are at, whether you're trying to control the narrative all the time, or you're trying to just allow all the time, and you're not really taking any action, right? There's not really I wouldn't say a sense of urgency, right? So I think it's important to define, well, where are you at? As far as your mindset, or in more simpler terms, how are you thinking about these things? How are you going about the things that you want to have and the person that you want to become? Are you trying to control every aspect of the narrative? Are you trying to control everything, or are you trying to do a combination of two and put that thought, that those things that you want out there in the universe, or to God, or whoever it is that you pray to, if any, and you're also taking action? Are you trying to do both, or are you just doing one or the other? And so, I think it's important that you guys recognize where you are at. All right. So, but anyway, hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of shed some light on controlling versus allowing, and gives you guys a little bit of perspective as to where you are in your current life, and maybe you're able to make some adjustments. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe this is just full of shit for you, and it's just another podcast you can toss to the wayside. I don't know. That's something for you to decide. But man, I look forward to. I really do miss these moments, man. I really do, and I got to do a better job of myself of just getting myself back into the habit of creating things, because I do find these fulfilling when I do relay a message, or I am able to just share my thoughts and my perspective with those of you that guys that listen. So again, I appreciate you. I'll do my best to not go so long next time about submitting another episode there for you guys. And again, if you guys ever have any questions, certainly reach out. That's bentoncoaching@gmail.com. Otherwise, as I always say, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, fellas.